To start off by saying congratulations on this brand new album. I've had a chance to sit down and take a listen to it, and it's amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's exciting. People are finally gonna hear it after. I mean, it's been done for quite a while. We've been living with it for quite a while. So it's interesting to see what people think.
Do you get excited when you've got a new album coming out, or do you get slightly nervous because you're never really sure how fans are going to take a new album?
Of course, there's a certain expectations that you have, but during since I think we released six singles from the album for the last 8 months or something, so we kind of had an indication from the people listening to that it's going in the right direction. It's people are experiencing it as we kind of set out to make a record that we wanted to. It's turning out that it's working out for both of us, so to speak.
Yeah. What was the goal that you guys had with this album? Was there something that you had deep inside that you wanted to achieve with this album when you first sat down to work on it?
Yeah, it was a pretty clear picture that we didn't want to make the same album as we did the previous one. We wanted to we discussed what are we as a band, what are our weaknesses, what are our strengths, where do we fit in, so to speak, what is our biggest, how do people see us, what kind of band are, so we kind of backtracked to the self-titled album, and that was the kind of the year zero, so to speak, for the sound that we have. So we kind of figured, let's try and kind of capture the same vibe as we did, or the band did. I wasn't in the band back then, but so we collaborated with the same producer as they did back then. So kind of it has. If you listen to the albums next to each other, kind of back to back, you kind of hear that it has the same nerve to it, which is interesting.
Yeah. Aside from using the same producer, was there anything else that you did to recreate that vibe from back then?
Just kind of, yeah, we recorded it live. The foundations, the guitar, bass, and drums were recorded live, just to capture that live foundation that we have as a good live band. We wanted to have that on the record as well. It's not easy capturing live feel on an album.
Yeah. So going into the studio to record that, to do it live, did that change at all this time because of the whole pandemic and the different restrictions and everything that was placed on bands and everything?
No, because we were so few people involved in this band and the producer. So basically we were at most 5 people in one room, a big room. So it wasn't it didn't stop us from working.
Yeah. Did it feel strange not doing shows during that time? Though I know I've spoken to a lot of bands here in Australia who have said that it felt really strange not being out on the road, but it did give them more time to write. How was that experience for you guys not being out on the road?
It's weird because this is what we've been doing the last 20 years, 15, 20 years. It's been our main income in the band, so it's kind of weird not to have a job, no income. But we have, like you said, like the rest of the people, the doctor said, you get a chance to focus on different stuff, like recording an album, or either you go down with you get buried with not being able to tour, or you just see it on the bright side and focus on stuff that you can actually affect.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Did it give you a chance to rest a little bit as well, and also get to spend time with family?
Yes, definitely. It's because we are away quite a lot, and everybody has at least one kid in the band, so there's a lot of a lot of kids involved that miss our time. So it's been nice to be back home and enjoy the just being home.
Yeah, I think every musician out there dreams about being out on the road and living on the road, but how does that dream change once you have kids? Is that something that changes a little bit for you once you become a dad or a family man?
Of course it does. This is our main income, and that means that we cannot do tours that don't generate an income. If you get okay, I gotta go on tour. I'll be back in 4 weeks. I'll be back with no money because this promotional tour. That doesn't really work when you have family. You know, it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
So it needs to be generating income, or otherwise we can't pay bills.
definitely. Bringing it back to working with Johan as a producer, tell us a little bit about working with Johan. What kind of producer is he like to work with, and what do you think he does that enhances the band's sound?
He is an extremely talented musician and producer, and extremely determined human being. Likes what he likes and fights for what he thinks the album should go with everything he has. He doesn't take things lightly. He turns everything and just tries to make everything better for the band. Not he has a band perspective to it. He does not have an ego to it. Of course, it needs to sound good, his preferences, but I think he has a band in mind when he's working.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one of the things that really hit me with this album was the guitar riffs. There are so many strong riffs on this album. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the songwriting process for the band. What comes first? Is it the music, the riffs, or the vocal, or the lyrics? How does that work for you guys?
Well, the basically all the ideas come from Ade, the drummer. He he writes everything basically, and then presents it to us, and then we take it to the next level. If we feel, oh, this song has something to it, and then we just kind of start working on it and develop it together and push it towards the end goal. So that's basically the how we work. So
Yeah,
nothing is sacred, nothing is untouchable. Every idea gets turned and swapped, and every idea gets the treatment.
yeah. So what were your thoughts on the riffs on this album? Because they are so strong and they make this album something special. How did you feel about those riffs and being able to play them?
But Ade is a great songwriter and a great guitar player as well. So for me, there's a lot of, as we talked about, he needs to have that Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads feel, Diary of a Madman, Blizzard of Oz kind of feel. You can hear that on the album. There's a lot of stuff going on the guitar, especially on the Abrakadabra title track. There's that pre-chorus. There's just so Ozzy. It's crazy. I love it. I love it. But
Def-
it's difficult because I need to approach it my way, and Ade has his way of writing, and I need to kind of interpret it what he wants to for riff to say, because it's not just I can just take a riff and just discard of everything that he's done and just kind of do my thing. It's disrespectful, and he has an idea with the riff, so I just need to take it, play it my way, and bring his thoughts into playing it as well.
yeah. You mentioned trying to capture that live sound that the band has. Tell us a little bit about what that was like doing that in the studio, recording that live sound. Is that the way that you like to record?
Yes, I think it's easier. It's easier for the band when you get to the studio, and you get that live foundation that you can kind of start stacking stuff up on. But it does come with a lot of work, because you need to spend hours rehearsing to get to that stage where you feel comfortable going into the studio and not taking everybody's time because you're not ready and all that shit. So it does take time to practice, to rehearse together, to be able record live.
Yeah. So for young musicians who are listening to this, how long would you guys have rehearsed before you went into the studio, and how long were you in the studio for once you got in there?
This album has been kind of, we didn't do everything in one straight timeline, so to speak, because there's family involved and we need to kind of work around the schedules. But for example, an album 10 years back, Split Your Lip, or something like, 10 years back, that album we rehearsed for 5 weeks, Monday to Friday, 9 to 4, every day. Rehearsed those songs, and then we went to the studio, recorded everything in 5 days. That was it. This was a little bit different. It was the same. We wanted to do it the same way, but it just didn't work out with the families and all that planning. But I guess rehearsing a month maybe, as much as possible, and then recording. I would say something like that. I mean, you can recording foundation doesn't have to be like drums, bass, and guitar. It can take a couple of days. That's it. You know, we got the raw take. We got the feel right for this song. But the rest takes time. You need to take it to the next level. Now you need to start painting. You know, you got the canvas. You just need to kind of start painting your picture of the song that you wanna make.
Okay, yeah. So the live sound on this album, it is really, really clear when you listen to it. Are you guys excited about being able to get out onto the road and play these tracks live? And when does that look like it's going to happen for you guys?
Tonight. Last night and tonight. We're actually on the road now. Yesterday was a release, and we had a gig here in Sweden, and second gig as well in Sweden. But yeah, so I'm sitting on the tour bus right now, looking at ski slopes and polar bears.
How did it feel being back out and playing live shows? I know I was talking to a band last week, and they said that they just played their first live show here in Australia in 2 years because of how long we were locked down. What did it feel like? Was it nerve-wracking to go back out on stage, or did it feel like you were back at home again?
It was, because last year the corona kind of disappeared, and we got to do full tour November, December. But before that, the first gig was, I think, in last summer. It was overwhelming. I didn't think I would get affected by it, but when I stepped on stage and saw people, it was like, it really, you know, it was pretty big.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be, but it was.
And what have the fans been like? Have the fans been nervous to come back to shows, or have they just been there and been so excited to be able to have live music again?
Well, yesterday it was crazy. It was like nothing ever happened. People were stage diving, and you know, it was crazy. It was like the pandemic was never here.
Yeah, I understand completely what you mean about getting emotional. In the middle of the lockdowns that we had here in Melbourne, I was able to go interstate to a state that didn't have much COVID, and I went out one night to a restaurant, and there was an acoustic guitarist just playing in the corner, and I found tears starting to well up in my eyes because I hadn't heard live music for almost 2 years. It does affect you emotionally, doesn't it?
Definitely. I agree totally. Yeah, it does something. It does something to you.
Yeah. Well, Vic, the big question I guess a lot of people are asking now is, when will you guys look to tour overseas, and is it possible that you might come to Australia sometime to tour with this album as well?
I would be surprised if we didn't. To be honest, there are plans. We're talking about it, and hopefully it will happen pretty soon. We don't know yet when, but we are hoping that it will happen.
Awesome. Well, I know we are running out of time very, very quickly, so I guess to finish up, what
time is it?
It's 10 to 11 by my time here. Yep.
Well, we got a couple of more minutes. That's okay.
Awesome. So I guess to finish up, what would you like to say to all of your fans here in Australia before they sit down and take a listen to this new album?
first of all, thank you for the support. Australia is actually, I did my first gig with the band in Australia, so it has a special place for me. It was Sydney back in 2008. I hope that they like the album as much as we do, of course, and they see the time and effort spent on it to make as good a record as we can.
Definitely. And after these shows that you're doing now in Sweden, what next for the band? What are your plans next?
We do have a couple of shows until summer, and then summer comes, and that's when the festivals start. And that's the whole summer is going to be packed festivals, big festivals in Finland, Sweden, and Italy, and a lot of different countries. So just touring, and hoping this pandemic-free world continues.
Awesome. Well, Vic, I just want to say thank you so much for chatting to us tonight. It's been an absolute honor having you on the show. We can't wait to see you guys back in Australia, but for now, we're going to enjoy this brand new album, and we're going to enjoy it and enjoy it.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you taking your time.